this is Heather with twoblooms.com, and in this Lightroom tutorial I'm going to show you how to color correct your images using the white balance. So there's 3 ways to do this, and I'm going to show you all 3 ways right now. So if you're not sure what white balance is, it basically it's the color temperature of your photo when you're in different lighting conditions. Your photo can have, or the light source will have a different color temperature. So if you're shooting digital, you can go ahead and you can set your camera ahead of time to the camera settings for a certain lighting condition, or you can use like a gray card or an expo disc or something to set a custom white balance. Now if you're shooting film, you can achieve the perfect color balance by using filters. So anyways, this isn't a tutorial on how to teach you what white balance is, but how to fix it in Lightroom. So let me show you these 3 ways that you can fix it really quick. So this is my final image, and I'm going to show you the beginning image. This was shot, I believe this was close to sunset. It was in the shade, so it's a little dull because I shot it in RAW, and it's a little cool. So it's kind of blue and a little magenta. So I'm going to show you different ways to fix this really quick. Now the first way you can do it is come over here to your white balance drop down menu, and you have these different options. Right now it's chosen as shot, so this was my in-camera setting. I always keep mine on auto because then I can come in here and fix it if I need to. There's auto, daylight, cloudy, shade, tungsten, fluorescent, flash, and custom. So if I chose auto, it's going to automatically choose what it thinks that this photo should look like. Now that looks pretty horrendous, very, very yellow. So you can see like the different daylight actually looks pretty good. So you can kind of mess around with these and see what looks good. If you still haven't gotten a pretty good white balance, there's 2 other ways that you can do this. So let's just go to as shot. Now you can also use these little sliders to adjust your white balance, so you can move them as much as you want, and then I could add a little green in to offset the magenta. And you can just see, you know, the before and after just moving those sliders. It really helped to warm up the image and made it look a lot more natural. Now I'm going to, let's go back and go back again. Actually, let's just do as shot. Okay. You can also use this little eyedropper tool, the white balance selector, and it really works well if you have something in your image of like a gray tone. So you're going to want to hover over something gray or something white or something black, but usually gray is the best way. And you can see underneath all those little squares there's RGB, and you want to make sure that it gets, like, the numbers are pretty close to each other. So that's like 57, 58, 70. I want all of the numbers to be about the same. So I'm hovering over his gray hat, and I'm getting pretty close. I'm just going to click on it. Now that's a little too much. Alright, so let me click on it again and see where I am. So that's pretty good. It's still kind of warm for my taste, and you know, white balance for the most part is pretty subjective. Now you don't want to have a photo that's like too blue or too yellow or has a lot of magenta in it. You know, clearly we want something that looks as natural as possible, but you know, if you're trying to achieve a look that has more blue tones in it or more yellow tones in it, it's pretty subjective. So I'm going to actually just use my one of these over here. I think it was no, it wasn't shade. It was daylight. Yep. So just using this white balance preset, it's one click and you're done. So try out these presets first, and then you can use your sliders, and I always do the eyedropper the very last step if I'm having a really tricky time with white balance. But typically my images aren't that far off, and if they are, then that means I did something very wrong in camera. So I hope you found this tutorial useful and that you will be able to use this in your everyday photo editing with Lightroom. Make sure you check out my website at www.twoblooms.com, and if you would love to further your Lightroom education, check out our YouTube channel. And if you want more than that, I offer an online learning course called the Lightroom Lush, and I will leave a link for it in the bottom of the description. So if you want to learn more in a really fast and efficient way, give it a go and make sure you check it out. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.